and they visit each other's homes, and they're like real families. So
excuse me.
That is a positive.
Excuse me. Just stop here. Stop here. Councillor Walker.
There's no quorum.
You've moved
leave.
You've moved the motion.
I'll move it, Mr. Chair.
Well,
You've got a quorum, sir.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the fact you moved the motion, but you're just walking out and leaving us high and dry. So.
I'm sure Councillor.
Oh, well, thank you very much. If we'd known that, you would have got someone else to do it if you're going to be leaving. But anyway, carry on.
I'll move.
Councillor, seconded it. Councillor Holtz moved it then. Sorry, carry on.
Anyway, I was after being interrupted. Anyway, so I just want to thank you very much for what you do, and keep up the good work, and just make sure that if you're fostering and adopting any of these puppies, are going to homes such as Lisa's. Thank you.
Thank you. And Councillor Darby.
Oh, look, similarly, I do want to I don't want to repeat all the accolades, but team, you've done a great job here. I think these education programs, which the Deputy Mayor refers to, have made a phenomenal difference. I see it on the street when I walk. I see it on beaches. Dog owners have shifted in their understanding of even their little dog, which they think is, the tamest little thing on the planet, can actually upset a child, and I just see a change in behaviour all over the place. So I think accolades are due, and I do take my hat off to the response time on priority ones. That's phenomenal, 99.2 within 60 minutes. Look, I think we should acknowledge all the good numbers in this report, and the rehoming number is up around about 50%. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Some good numbers in here, Mr. Chair. Thanks to the team.
Yeah. Thank you. With that, I'll put the motion. Those in favour?
Aye.
Against? Declare that carried. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Thank you. We now move to item 15. It's Gail Surgeon and PSI. Here it is. Tanya. Tanya, is it Tanya?
Yes,
thanks.
Councillor.
Thanks for coming in, Gail and Tanya. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
So we had our last update about a year ago. So
that's right. So what Tanya's handing around now is a document that we've produced, which is a year in review. So there's more detail in that document than what we're going to present in today's presentation. The presentation will cover just a few highlights. So just to recap, you'll probably remember that March last year there was a review of the Southern Initiative, and a result of that review was the creation of a small team focused on community and social innovation. That's the team that Tanya and I are part of, and also that it was explicitly communicated that Panuku would take responsibility for the urban development or the physical transformation in South Auckland. So today we're going to cover what's happened over the last year. And have I got can you flip the... Oh, here it is. So we've spent the last year effectively rebooting the Southern Initiative and building that social and community innovation approach. The review was really clear about the need to be focused. So the focus for us has been on employment and skills, enterprise and entrepreneurship, and whānau wellbeing, and we'll cover that more in the examples that will follow. Also, the review said that the Southern Initiative should be more innovative, and I think we can demonstrate that through the work we've done on Māori and Pacific trades training and also our work with the Auckland Co-Design Lab. The Southern Initiative to be more collaborative, so we totally understand that we can't do anything on our own, and I think we can demonstrate being very collaborative. The strengths and opportunities orientation was strong feedback from the community, who really expressed that South Aucklanders are tired of being seen as a problem to be fixed and want the focus to be on strengths and assets and opportunities. And alongside that, there was the recommendation that we get closer to the community, and we've really focused on building strong relationships with community organisations and community leaders and change agents. and we've really focused on delivering results. So that's going to be the focus of the highlights. And the Māori and Pacific Trades Training Initiative is definitely a highlight. We're now in our second year of operation. The first year we had a few issues, like the project was umbrellaed by the Open Polytech, who weren't really the right fit for the project. So we've negotiated with the Tertiary Education Commission that the Southern Initiative has the status of a tertiary institution, which has given us a lot of flexibility and agility to build a consortia of private training organisations that are directly funded by TEC. We also stand out as one of the Māori and Pacific Trades Training Initiatives that's closest to industry and more responsive to employers. We've created a 12-week Certificate of Infrastructure course that was directly in response to what employers said they need. And we're going from strength to strength. The TEC have been speaking to us over the last couple of weeks about next year's funding. They've said they want to increase our funding and strongly support the direction that we're taking. Next is a short video clip of one of the graduates of the Certificate of Infrastructure course, and I think she really encapsulates the difference this project's making.
Kia ora, my name is Leonora Marsh-Natai. I am from Manerua. Before I started Solomon Group, I was going through a few things in my life which really changed me. Me and my tamariki ended up in refuge. Went through some real bad stuff. My life has been associated with gangs, and I suppose coming into Solomon Group has made me change the way that I am, change the way that I want to be. The way I heard about Solomon Group was I went to one of my kids' Christmas park breakups at the school, and Solomon had a store at a stand at the school. I picked up the infrastructure pamphlet and thought, oh yeah, I'll just go and have a look anyway, have a jack at it. For me, it wasn't really what I thought. I thought it wasn't really me, but I came to the induction, and the induction was in Manerua, at the Solomon Group in Manerua. I sat and met Singer for the first time there, and from there I decided, oh yeah, I'll give this a go. I joined the course and signed up then. During the course, since I've been in this course, I've gained a new whānau, a whole new me, way confident, way more positive in my direction. The support that I got from Solomon Group has been awesome. It's driven me to be a better person, be a better mum. My direction now in life is to get full-time employment, and I have gained that since I've been in here. Some of the tohus that I've gained while being in Solomon Group was my wheels, tracks and rollers, my traffic control, site safe, and doing all of that and having an understanding on all of that helped me to get a full-time job with water care, which I'm really, really excited about.
Cool.
So I think that really represents the kinds of people that our initiative is reaching. We've really focused on recruiting people who are unemployed, so it's not like some of the other initiatives that offer free fees to Māori and Pacific students who enrol in trades qualifications in a tertiary institution. Also, Leonora represents the people that we really hope that we can make a difference for leveraging off strategic procurement. This is an area that Tanya's led over the last year or so, and we're really starting to get some momentum and traction. And I think Tanya's probably best placed to give you a bit of a sample of what's been happening in that area.
Thank you, Gail. Tēnā koutou rau rangatira mā. So we've been using our procurement lever to maximum effect to improve outcomes for South Aucklanders in terms of employment, raising incomes, workforce development and also enterprise opportunities. We're working really closely with Auckland Transport and I'd like to acknowledge their leadership in this area. So we've advised on the City Rail Link remaining procurements and the socio-economic objectives that will be included in those. We're working with colleagues around the Otahuhu streetscape and making sure that we've got our great South Auckland talent is in those tenders as well, and also our community facilities colleagues. The Manukau bus interchange tender is currently out to market, and we've written the clauses for that tender, will be part of the tender evaluation and also probably part of the contract management for that. Again, that's about employment. The contractor will be required to take new entrant recruits from our Māori and Pacifica trades training as part of winning the work. So this is an area that we're providing strategic advice to our colleagues, tactical advice to our colleagues, and also practical help, and really leveraging the resources that we already have through, for example, Māori and Pacifica trades training.
So a real theme in the way that we're approaching the Southern Initiative is to generate more value from existing assets. So the procurement lever is existing resources that are being spent, and our influence is to ensure that they achieve more outcomes, social as well as economic. And we've also been focusing on strength in South Auckland. There are lots of assets in the way of parks, community facilities, libraries, and we've noticed that some of them aren't being as well utilised as perhaps they could, and getting alongside resident communities and community organisations that have got ideas for how to generate more value leveraging off these fantastic assets. So we've been working with we can talk about Ranwick Park, for example.
Sure. We're working with the Ranwick Park residents who have been, with the support of the Manurewa Local Board, have really transformed their community from the inside out. They will be the lessees of the new Manutukutuku Centre that was opened on Saturday. They are doing fantastic things, and we're getting right behind them so that they can really start to accelerate what they're doing in terms of enterprise and giving the children and young people in their community the best start in life.
It's also generating employment for local people, so that right bottom photograph there is one of the people who works for the Ranwick Park residents group that have formed a work cooperative maintaining the Riverton Reserve. So that now provides part-time employment for 5 Māori men who were previously long-term unemployed, and that was a contract that Downer passed on to the residents as a subcontract, and as a result of their fantastic work, they're now in discussions with Downer about other contracts, and they've also secured a contract to do the cleaning and maintenance at a local school. So we think that sort of local procurement, local employment initiatives can really make a difference. And in the top left-hand corner is a Cook Islands leader, and that's a garden that he's created out of tyres outside a building that the Cook Islands Development Agency leased from the council. So that's just a simple way that they've been generating more value and teaching Cook Islands families how they can do that in their backyards. One of the real highlights for us, I think, in our connections with central government has been the co-location of the Auckland Co-Design Lab with the Southern Initiative. And with the Auckland Co-Design Lab, we've participated in challenges that look at issues around driver's licences. The Attitude Gap Challenge was focused on youth employment, and what we hear constantly from employers about would gladly employ young people with a great attitude. Those are both initiatives that have got some traction down in Wellington and influencing policy, and I think will really make a difference for young South Aucklanders in particular. We've had some funding from the Ministry of Health to do a project on healthy homes, which there's more detail about in the handout. but I'd really like to focus on the early years challenge. That photograph there is the group that worked in June on a challenge which was really focused on how to create home outside the home. From some research that we did late last year, one of the big challenges for families raising young children in South Auckland is that home isn't necessarily a sanctuary. It might not be good quality, it's often crowded, so families need to create home in the community. So that means that they will use libraries, parks, community facilities, churches and those kinds of things. And what we've realised working with parents, and there were 9 parents of young children involved in this 3-day workshop, that some of the things that we offer might work for us as an organisation or for the facility, but they don't necessarily work for a family who have to travel a wee way to go to a library for a half-hour wriggle and rhyme session. So we've been talking to our colleagues in community services about how we might redesign some of the programming to better meet the needs of families. So that's also a way of using our existing resources smarter and more family-centred. We're also in the middle of a co-design 3-day workshop. Today's the 3rd day, exploring another theme that came out of our research about the early or pre-birth, post-birth, the first few months,